Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So as you guys can see, I set up the Jackery with the solar panels on a roof on a hot ass day. Now, even if it's cool down in the streets, up here in the roof is always hot, guys, because you have maximum exposure. That's why I have them up here. Now, the other problem, not the other problem, there are a lot of problems with owning a solar charger generator in the city. This is one of them. You saw that I have to hump them up the stairs. You see that it takes time to set these up on a roof that has public access. Now, public access in the sense that anybody can come up here. Though there is a no trespassing sign, an emergency exit only sign, that does not stop people from coming up here. So when I set this up, unfortunately, I have to sit up here with it. Now, I could sit in the bulkhead, or I could sit up here, set up a chair and hang out. Now, obviously in the wintertime, I'm gonna probably hang out in there before hanging out up here in the cold, and the same goes with a lot of heat or a lot of sun. I don't want to get roasted every time I come out here, so I'll hang out in the bulkhead, which will provide me some shade. The bulkhead is this thing right here, guys. That's what a bulkhead is. This is the access point before you get onto a roof. So now that you see me out here charging this thing, again, guys, there's a lot of downsides to owning this in a city, but the upsides outweigh the downsides. Well, we're going to start with the downside first, because everybody always starts with the positive. Let's get the negative bullshit out of the way first. First thing is, you need to have some kind of strength to you to carry at least the Jackery up here, at least that Jackery model up here, right? If you have a smaller version, it'll be easier. But if not, guys, you have the Explorer 1500. You're going to have the 4 panels to go along with it, guys. The panels weigh a little bit. For those of you that are allergic to the gym or allergic to weights, it's going to be heavy to you. This is moderate to me, not even moderate. I wouldn't even go that. I would say light heavy. And for a lot of you guys who, again, allergic to the gym, it's going to be heavy. So now imagine humping this up 2 stories, 3 stories, 4 stories. If you live on the first floor, 5, 6 stories, guys, maybe 7 in some cases, like the buildings downtown. Hell, you might live in a building that has 32 stories. A lot of those buildings will not give you access to the roof. So you have to weigh that in before you get a Jackery, right, guys? Access to the roof is important. If you have access, then the Jackery's for you, because you can do what I'm doing. But if you don't have access, or the access to your roof has like maximum security, we know with the cameras, the alarms, the guard watching, like my parents' building, then access to the roof is going to be pretty hard. Now, when all else fails, guys, and the chips are down and there's no law and order, then it doesn't matter. But if you're looking to keep this thing going, you're going to have to have access to the roof, and have access where you're not fucking bothered, where people are not breaking your balls. So you got to keep that in mind. That's the downside to having this, no access. If you have sun exposure, then you don't need access to the roof. You could put this probably at your window, you could put this on your balcony, you could put this on your fire escape, and you're going to get enough sun exposure to get this charged, right? So keep that in mind. That's the one upside to the downside. The other downside, guys, is, again, the public access to the roof. You can't just leave this up here. Unfortunately, you have to stay up here with it. Whether you hang out in the bulkhead or whether you hang out on the roof in person, you got to stay with it. Now, this building is pretty good, so I could leave it up here for a couple hours and not have to worry about it, because whoever's going to take this is going to make a lot of noise. That's the other thing. There's some security features that allow me to know whether or not someone's fucking with us. But if you don't have that security feature, if you're not that close to the roof, if you're not that close to the stairs, then obviously you can't do it. If you live on the 16th floor in a 32-story building and you have to always go up and down, then it's not worth you fucking leaving it at all. Just stay up there with it until it's charged. You get a newspaper, read a book, do something, guys, work out, whatever it is. That's what you're going to need to do to stay up here, right? That's the other downside, guys. Public access to the roof. Now, upside, you're going to be the only one with power. Minimal power, guys. Charging your phone, your computer, maybe running a TV. You can run your fridge for a little bit on this as well. They have the Explorer 2000 model, which will absolutely run your fridge no problem. I'm looking to get that as well, so I have 2. The one thing about these things, guys, is that if you put your fridge on it, you're going to eat up more power, right? So keep that in mind. If you're running like a computer, TV set's going to run power, but not as bad. So if you have the money, try to get 2 of these. Generator, guys, a gasoline generator, the downside to that in an apartment is the obvious. I don't have to state it, but I will, because people are stupid. You cannot run a gasoline generator in your apartment. You can't put the gasoline generator on your fire escape or your balcony because people will hear it. This thing runs quietly with the exception of the fan to keep it cool, and this thing charges quietly, no problems. You're not wasting gasoline. You have a renewable source. That's the upside, guys. A renewable source is the sun. There's no renewable source with a gas generator other than gasoline, which you have to store in a well-ventilated area. So again, you live in an apartment, the only place you can keep it is on your terrace or your fire escape, and you can only keep it on your fire escape during a disaster. You can't, and that's even illegal to do, guys. But if the law and order's out, if the shit hits the fan, doesn't matter where you store it. But nonetheless, you're still also going to smell it. This doesn't leave any smell. Downside to this is that if it breaks, you might not know how to fix it. Most people who own a generator, if that breaks or conks out or the filter gets clogged, you know how to fix that. If this shits the bed, it shits the bed unless you know what you're doing. So again, guys, there are some upsides, there are some downsides, right? Other than that, guys, this is what it looks like living in the city, in the urban environment, charging this thing. Here's the other downside to charging this during a shit hits the fan scenario. I live in a 6-story building. There are buildings around me that are taller. So I would have to assume somebody is watching me from all directions, all around me. Somebody's watching. That's what I'm going to assume when the shit hits the fan, when there's no power and we're on our 5th day with no power and I'm charging this thing and, you know, we're getting by. But now I got people watching. Why is he up here all the time? Some people are going to be like, what's that dude doing? Oh, shit. Looks like he's charging some shit. Curiosity is going to get them over here. Not knowing what I'm doing, but curiosity. So that's another downside. People are going to be in your business. I would have to be a little more sneaky about this than just coming out here like I am today and like, oh, look at me, and I'm hooking my shit up. I got a college to the left of me, right? And I got fucking tall buildings in front of me, and I got a giant building behind me. So with that, guys, it presents a problem as far as keeping low key. I can't do that. So I would have to I would be inviting people knowing what I'm doing. All right, guys, so anyway, this should take, it was at 25% when I plugged it in, so it should take me, I'm hoping 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. It should be done, but between then, I'll be up and down fucking checking up on it or sitting close by, depends on what's going on. Right now, I can hang out on the roof and enjoy the weather and the breeze. When the breeze stops, then the fucking sun's beating on me, then I'll go inside. Other than that, guys, this is the Jackery Explorer 1500. I'm gonna put a link below. Guys, check it out. It is something that for a lot of you people in the urban area should entertain. But again, the checklist is, do you have an accessible roof? And do you have adequate sunlight? Those are the two things you need to answer before you buy one of these in an urban environment. If you have a house, guys, just because you have a backyard doesn't mean that you can get one of these automatically, because what if you have tree coverage? If the tree is covering your backyard 90% of the day, then it doesn't warrant this. You're gonna have to figure out another place to charge this or cut down some trees. You choose. Again, guys, we're preppers, we get ready for shit. So if you have to cut down a couple trees to get adequate sunlight to charge one of these things, it might cost you more money than it's worth, then it might not be worth getting this. Again, keep that in mind, guys. Other than that, this is the Angryprepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on the Angry Truths channel. Like and subscribe to that. And head over to the Angry Lensman channel. Like that shit, because I am coming out with a video this week. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Okay, guys, a quick side note with the Jackery. We now have cloud coverage. The sun is going to set, but it's still high enough in the sky, but there is clouds in front, and the input wattage dropped down to 25%. So the input wattage right now actually, reached 28%, and it's only 38% full. Remember I told you about an hour and a half ago, almost 2 hours ago, it was at 25%. So guys, again, cloud coverage, it's still charging, but it will take longer. According to this right now, with the cloud coverage, it will take 62 hours to charge if it continued to be like this. So this is just a quick after note after watching the clouds cover the sky and minimal sun being exposed to the solar panels being exposed to minimal sun. All right, guys, thank you.